Hello and welcome back. We're going to jump right to where we stopped. And last I spoke on having to click on the background, and then you can click on replace to replace the background, where it takes you to the photos, and you can search for the right keyword to get the particular background you want to use. So I can't seem to locate my background that I want to use here. So I'm simply going to I'm going to go to my start. I have it here. I've starred it already. So I have here's the background, right, that I made use of. Just to confirm. Yeah, here's the background I made use of. So I'm going to adjust it to fill the entire space. If you clicked on replace, it automatically replaces it, but because I didn't do that now, it won't. So I'm going to make sure it covers everywhere. I've seen a couple of people do designs where the background is flying like this somewhere. No, it shouldn't be that way. Make sure your background covers everywhere. All right, with that said, I have my background set. The next thing I want to do is to bring in my image. All right, or all right, let's bring in our text first. So I'm going to go to my text. Remember, I've taught you. You have to just go to text here. If you want to bring in a text, click on text, select what? Add a text box. Awesome. So you're getting this right. So you're going to select add a text box. Okay. So the first word we're going to write is design. I'm going to move this up here. Now you notice something with my workspace. One of the things you'd see is there's a margin line here. Right, this is kind of like a margin that helps me guide my work and helps me ensure that my work is properly aligned. How did I get that? What I simply did was okay, a moment. All right, so what I simply did was to click on these three dots here. Right, takes me to a list of settings, right? And I come over here to where we have settings. When I click on these settings, I'm going to see show margins. So you need to enable this show margins. Once I click on that, it's going to show me that if I click on it now, it takes it off. So I need to go back again, click on settings, and then select show margins. And with that done, my margins would return. Okay, so the essence of this is that it helps to guide your work. It helps to ensure that your work is properly aligned. So this way your text will not be flying out of where it should not be flying out of. Okay, now one thing you must take note of: whenever you're designing, your text must not be too close to the I've seen people make these mistakes a lot, and that's why I'm trying to emphasize on it now. Your text must not be too close to the top of your design. So make sure there is a little space between the top of your design and where your text you start from. That's very important for you to note. And also, always make sure that your text is properly aligned. Alignment is important. Make sure your text, you see this very long is it pink line that you're seeing here? You see what happens when I move? It goes off. So when my text is at the center of my design, it shows up telling me that it is properly aligned. So make sure that you move it until you get that feel that this thing is properly aligned and it's at the center of my design. Alignment is key, and it's something I will always stress throughout the course of this class. Now with this done, the next thing I'd like to do is to duplicate the text. So I'm going to create another copy of this same text. All I need to do is to tap on the text first, select design, then you'd see this thing that is called this thing here is called a duplicate icon. It will duplicate that text. This is a delete icon. This icon gives you more options. All right, so I'm going to click on this and it gives me another copy. Right, I'll do that again so you can get that clearly. So I've selected my text design, then I clicked on this icon. Once I do that, it gives me another copy. So I'm going to edit this. To edit, I simply have to come over here, this edit icon. So my text is design is easy. Next, I would need to go to font. I want to change the font. I'm not sure I changed the first font. Let's check out the first font. So I'm going to select the text design, come over to font. Then I would head over to search for Poppins. So if this is not showing on your screen, just search for Poppins. To search, you come over here. This is the search bar. Click on the search bar and then you type in Poppins. Poppins is spelled Poppins. With this, I'm going to select Poppins. So you see what happens. The font is going to change now. Awesome. You see what happened now? And another thing I wanted to show you. Come on. Alright, another thing I wanted to show you. You'd see an arrow in front here. This forward arrow. When I click on that arrow, I can see more options. Whether I want it to be a thin font. I'm sorry, this is thin. This is extra light. This is, you see what happens to the font weight? It changes. Right, for this one, I think I like to use I think semi-bold is cool. Semi-bold is cool. Alright, so we have this. Then I come over to is easy. This is the second font. Okay. Once I select that, I want to change the font of that. So I come again to where? Font. You got that. So I come over to font. Then my font this time that I'm searching for, I'll come to the search bar. I really don't want to be too fast with so many things I'm doing here, so that you're getting every single thing. So I'm going to come over here again, select font. Now with this, I'll come to the search bar. This is the search bar. Tap on it, then write Horizon. So this is the font I want to use, Horizon. So I'll select Common. I'll select this. This is the other font. Once this is done, I'll reduce the size. Now you see that the size of this is not too wide, neither is it too tiny. Okay, it is just equal with what we have above, and this is also at the center. Remember, the thin line that you're seeing at the center, that pink one, shows me that it is aligned. Now that I have done this, I like to change the color of this text is easy to yellow. How do I do that? I simply have to, number one is to what? Select the text. Again, the first thing if you want to change or edit any text is to select, just tap on it. Once you tap on it, you see options here, right? The options here tell you whether you want to change the font, whether you want to edit. Alright. So that's whether you want to change the font or whether you want to edit or increase the font style. There are other options. Okay, as you keep sliding, you'd see them. So, but for what I want now, change the color. I'll click on what? Color. So when I click on the color, then I can easily change the color to what I want. I'm just going to swipe down to use one of these default color. Now I prefer this. This one looks better. So this is the color, right? All you need to do is just to swipe down. It's a default color that Canva, yeah, this is one of the solid colors. So if you swipe down, you will see this color here. It's very simple and you're good to go. Now with this done, another wonderful thing you need to do is to bring in an image. Images helps to communicate whatever it is that you're trying to say. So we're talking about design is easy. I want to bring in an image of excited people that are showing excitement about design being easy and showing you that they are doing it with their phone. Okay, so to do that, I will need to click on this X icon here, if you can see what I mean, to cancel this layer so that I can see photos. Now, for you, because I have already provided the image for you and I've removed the background for you, it's in the you'll find it in, if you're watching this video from the WhatsApp group, you find it in the WhatsApp group. I sent the images for you in the WhatsApp group and I've removed the background for you. Just go there, download them and do what? Upload. Remember, I've taught you how to upload the videos. Now, the images rather. For me, I'll come over to photos. The typical way, if you have Canva Pro, it's easier for you, right? You don't have to upload my own images. All you need to do is to search for excited couple showing a phone screen. So just type this in, excited couple showing phone screen. And you see these people here, right? So I want to make use of this image. And you'll notice that they have a background, which I have to remove. Because I can't create this design with this background showing here. It's not professional. Now, This is why I said that you would need Canva Pro. All right. To remove the background, all I need to do is to come over to Effects. Okay. When I click on Effect, then I'm going to see Background Remover. Okay. You can even use the Magic Grab. So here's what the Magic Grab will do. Still loading. I think that's done. Let's see. No, it's not. Well, I don't know why it's that way, but let me just go straight to what I want to do, which is the background remover. So just come to background remover. You see what happens in one click, it removes the backgrounds for you and still retains the image quality. If you use other platforms to remove the image background, your image will look blurry. It won't look fine. I've noticed that before. So that's why I always love to use Canva to remove my background, because it helps me retain the image quality. See how sharp the image still looks. So another thing I want you to note, when you're designing, please make sure your image is not floating in the air like this. This is what I mean. You see the bottom of this image, I can see that they curved out their legs and it doesn't look good, right? So you don't want to have your image floating in the air this way. This doesn't look professional. So always move it down to the bottom. Make sure it touches the bottom of your design. For this kind of design, we need our image to touch the bottom so that it is not floating in the air. I hope you got that. So with this done, we have our image. I just need to make sure it's at the center. Remember, we're using a center kind of alignment. There are 3 kinds of alignment. You can either align them to the left or to the center or to the right. For this design, I'm aligning everything to the center. An alignment simply means arranging the way you arrange the arrangement of the elements in your design. Okay, so with that said, this is properly aligned. I like to bring in a rectangle, right? And to bring in a rectangle, I need to go to elements. Remember, I've shown you how to get shapes. So this is elements. And again, if you have selected your text and you're wondering, oh, I'm not seeing elements here, you will see elements here. What you need to do is to first off, click on this X icon to cancel this layer that you're seeing here. When you click on that, that's when you will see elements. I hope that's fine. Now with that, you have elements showing. All you need to do is to select this second square that has a corner rounding. So you see that the edges are rounded a little bit. I want to have a subtext, right, that I'll write on my image or my design, or in my design, whichever preposition works for it. So I have this here, right? With this now, all I need to do, I want to resize it to a rectangle. Something like this. Because I want to write a text, right? But okay, I want to change the color. I want to change the color to something that would blend so well with the background, that would go so well. So to change the color, remember, you have to first off select the item, the element, rather this shape is selected already. Then click on color. Once you click on color, you can easily just go ahead to change the color. Let me see if I have any default color here that I would like to use. Okay, I think we can use this guy, this one. So I'm not really showing how to really pick out colors for now, because I want you to just get the basics, right? So I like to make this a little bit transparent. So I'll come over here to transparency. I'll click on transparency and reduce the transparency of my text to, let's say, I like it to be at 85. Take note of the number 85. Then another thing I'd like to do, I would like to come over to style. So style here, once I click on style, I like to increase the border weight. Excuse me. This is going to give it a line. You see, if I increase it so much, you see what happens? So this is simply what I'm doing, but I don't want it so much. Just increase it to a barest minimum. Let's say 10. 10 is good. 10 is even too much. I think I prefer 7. 7 is fine. And if you want, you can reduce or increase the corner round. You see what happens when I increase the corner round? Take a look at my let me zoom in if I can. Yeah, if you look at the corners of this rectangle. You see what's happening? So you can now decide, oh, do you want it very rounded or not? So for me, I think I like something minimal like this. Let's say 75. This is cool. I'll zoom out. To zoom in and out, you can just pinch in. Look, your two fingers, any of your two fingers that work, just use it to drag in and drag out. Just pinch in like that, like what I'm doing, right? Once this is done, again, remember to align it to the center. If you do not align your work properly, it won't look good, okay? Once it is done, come over here to where you have border color. Remember, we added a border, but it is black. Now, I'm not sure I want it in black, so I like it to be in white. I'll come over to border color, and then I'll select it. Once I select it, I will change the color to white. See what happens. It was, let me zoom in. I always like you to see it. It was black. Now I change it to white. My phone needs to behave. Okay, so this is what I mean. So you see the difference now. So it's just me trying to play around with that. Now I want to bring in a text on top of it. Let's move this down so that the phone can show a little. But please do not move your rectangle to come so low like this. Make sure it is somewhere around here, right? With this done, I like to just duplicate this text design. Again, remember I taught you how to duplicate. Simply come over, select that text. You see these options, these bars here will show. The one you have to click on is this icon, which will do what? Duplicate. And you're good to go. Alright, so I like to reduce the size. Now to resize any element, you would always see, let me explain this very well. To resize any element, whether it's an image or a text, you would always see these knobs here. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I want to call it. Okay, so this thing, I like to zoom, increase the size. I'll give this thing a knock very soon. Alright, so you're going to see this bar here on the four corners. The four corners. You see what I just did? Now those four corners, any of them is what you can drag if you want to increase or reduce the size of anything. So if I drag it from here, you see what happens. If I drag it from here, you see what happens. If you want to resize, just drag from any of the corners. It makes it very easy, super easy and fun. And if you want to maybe widen it or reduce the width in a way, you see the bars on the left, this one, and the right side. Okay, if you drag this, the bars, let me move that back. So if I drag this bar on the left or right, you see what happens? So it breaks it down. Right, so that's simply the difference between the bar you are seeing on the right and left side and the one on the four corners. So I hope I've explained that clearly. Now to resize it, I can just reduce the size with this corner, or I can come over to font size. If I click on font size, I can also reduce the size. Right, those are two ways to resize a particular element in your design. So I want to bring this here. Then I'll click on edit, and then I'm going to write I create beautiful and attractive designs with my smartphone using Canva. I'm loving this design already. Looks good, looks nice. So remember, you don't want, another thing I like to point out, I'm trying to point these things out so that it makes it easier for you and I. So when you're writing your text, do not have it so large. Oh, come on. Yeah, do not have it so large or coming out of your image like this. This doesn't look cool at all. You see that it's already coming out or touching that rectangle. No, reduce the size so that there is enough room around your design. Let me show you what I mean. So you can see that there's space around it. My text is not touching the rectangle, so it's very important that your text is not coming out or touching the rectangle like this. Let there be space inside around the text. So with that said, also make sure that your text is at the center of this rectangle. make sure your text is at the center of this rectangle. So we've done this. I like to still reduce this a little bit so that there is enough room around the text. Then I like to also reduce the spacing, the line spacing. This video is already too long and I'm hoping I'll be done soon. So I would come over to spacing. Alright, spacing. So I'll come over to spacing and then I would reduce the line spacing a bit. Just 1.23 just so that the text come closer to each other a bit. Now that I've done that, I want to bring another subtext somewhere around there. I'm going to go quickly to, I'll click on, alright, it's gone. So you know how to get over to this part. I've explained that several times already. Come over to elements. Then I'm going to search for oval line. You know what an oval is? An oval shape, but I want an oval line. So it sees something like this, but I want to use this one. So if your one is not free, look for the one that is free. Click on see all and check out the one that is free. If you can't find anyone that is free, look for any other element that you can use to replace it, just to improvise. So I'm going to bring this here. Then I'll change the color to white, because white contrasts better, white will show better. You may need to consider your colors when designing and make sure it's at the center. Yeah, so that's what I would like to do. So with this, I like to duplicate the text I have in this rectangle. Come on, why is this thing doing? Alright, so I'll duplicate this text. Then edit. I click on edit. Either I click on edit or I click on the text itself. Once I tap on the text, it's going to edit it for me. Sorry, it's going to highlight it as being edited. So since I have this here, I want to break it in 2 or 3 lines, right? Because if I put it this way, it cannot enter the oval shape, if you notice. What do I do now? I need to zoom in. Now, to zoom in, I've showed you how to do that. You pinch, if you're using your smartphone, just pinch in with your 2 fingers, right? Just drag in with your 2 fingers and drag out. So once you pinch in, you can easily drag the bar by the right side. Remember, I showed you that to resize, you use the bar on the 4 corners, like what I'm just doing. But to increase or break the text into different lines, you use the bar on the right side. So that's what I just did now, and it would help me break it into 2 lines. Remember again, your text should not be so large that it is touching the oval shape. So make sure it is not too tiny too, but make sure it's not touching the oval shape. There should be enough space around it. So with this, I think we've been able to create a wonderful design. We could also still play around, go to elements. There's this feature I like to use. It's called Doodle. If you come over to element, just search for Doodle. If you find a free one, if you don't find a free one, please go ahead with your design like that. So most of these ones are Edu. So you see this one is free, right? This one too, for me, it looks free for my end, right? I don't know if it's going to be free at your own end. If it's not, just go to what's it called now, see all, and then so I'm going to just bring this over here, change the color to white. I'm using white because white will come out better than the other colors. So let me come over to elements again and pick another one. So again, if you don't find anyone that is free, just come over to see all. When you click on see all, you would find elements, but please do not just use any elements randomly if they are not communicating what you are saying in your design. For instance, this one has nothing to do with design is fun. This one, like camera doesn't, so just be very smart, okay? That's my point. Make use of only elements that resonate so well with what you are communicating in your design. So I can have something like this, kind of show the excitement and the vibe, right, that I'm talking about. So let's maybe we have it here. I can even rotate by dragging this bar. So for this, I can go to color I'll click on color and change it to yellow. I think with that, we should be done with our design. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, and if you follow everything I have taught here, I believe you should be able to come up with your own design without any stress. Okay, it is very simple and it's fun. You'd enjoy creating designs with Canva. So I've been able to create this. So maybe we change this color to yellow too. Yeah, and this looks cool. So with this, we've come to the end of this video. The things you need to remember is to align your work properly. Also, if you don't have access to Canva Pro, please do not use the premium resources. Do not stress about removing the background by yourself. Just go to the WhatsApp group. I have the images sent there, and I've removed the background for you. And I've sent them to the group already. Just download them, upload them on Canva, and you are good to go. If you've got any questions, do have to send them to the discussion group. Alright, so since we're done with our design, the final thing to do is to download. So you look at the icon at the top right corner of my screen here. I'm going to tap on that icon, and the moment I tap on it, it's going to bring this download icon here. So this is simply what you need to do to download. You need to click on this icon again, tap on the drop down, then select JPG. That's the first option. Scroll down and then click on download, and you are good to go. Now, on a final note, right? So for Canva, remember I said that it has the free version and the premium version. Now, if you're going to make use of any of the elements that has a premium, that has a crown, right? Or any photo, if you go under photos as well, you'll see that there are some photos that have a crown. Mine is showing Edu because I'm using an education account. But for you, if you're using a free account, you will see a crown. Do not use them, because if you use them, it's going to leave a watermark on your design. That is, they will write Canva on it. And secondly, you may not be able to download that design. So to avoid that, only use the free resources, right? Or make use of the resources I sent to the group for this assignment. However, if you really want to get Canva Pro and you want to have access to these unlimited features, you want to be able to remove your image background here on Canva, because actually that retains the image quality. If you use other websites, they won't retain your image quality. But for Canva, it's going to make it look really nice. It's also going to give you access to millions of resources, amazing resources, trust me. So there are 3 ways if you want to opt for Canva Pro. The first option is to subscribe directly to Canva. So I'll go back home, right? So you can choose to subscribe directly to Canva. It's a 2,800 naira monthly subscription, right? If you're subscribing directly to Canva, that means every month you'll be paying 2,800 naira. So to do that, I'll click on this icon here at the top left corner, the menu bar. Then you just go to your settings, and then you're going to see billings and payments. Billings and plan. And you can come over here to, opt for their paid version. But for me, I have an education account, okay? So the second option is when you get here, even if you don't have the money yet, you can use the pro account for 30 days, right? That's a free trial. They give you a free trial. But that means you have to put in your card, right? Your card details. And if you forget to opt out before the 30 days, they will charge you. That is, they will remove the money from your account, right? So the third option is that you can join my education account, my Canva Pro account. So I have an education account and I can add people to my account. So all you need to do to join is to make a one-time payment of 5,000 naira. Presently it is 5,000 naira at the time I'm recording this video, and there are just a few slots left because the account has a limited amount of people it can accommodate. So if you really want to get this, you just need to make a one-time payment of 5,000 naira. That means you won't have to make a monthly subscription to Canva anymore. It's just a one-time payment. All right. And so far, I have hundreds of people who have had access to join my Canva Pro team for about 2 years now, right? So there's stability with the account. Also, if at all there's an issue with the account within 1 month of you getting it, within 1 month, you get a refund of your money. All right? If this is something that interests you, you can send me a DM now. So even if you're not in Nigeria, I'll send you a seller link to check the rate in your currency. So if you've got any further questions about this, also send me a DM. All right. Thank you very much. On this note, I think we've come to the end of this video, and bye for now.